cheese and crackers in the autumn.
Autumn cracker. Or maybe
Autumn
it's just,
cracker.
or maybe it's a cracker that comes out of the machine when you press the button.
I think cheese and crackers is the thing I'm most excited about at Christmas.
Cheese and crackers.
Do you know what? I haven't had cheese and cracker for ages.
Yeah, I love it. I normally went straight with an F-bomb at the
Brie
beginning
on,
of the...
brie on a, just a classic bit of brie on a classic cracker. That'd be lovely.
What goes on top? Half a grape?
Oh, I'd pick a bit of piccalilli.
Oh, piccalilli and brie?
Yeah, just really go in there. Just cut through that fat.
Caramelised onion.
That's a good shout, actually.
Yeah, like one of those, like a sweet Christmassy chutney would be good.
That'd be quite nice. Or just classic Brownson.
On brie.
Yeah.
Papa.
We mixed it with Christmas.
It wasn't like a
Popcorn
remix.
Pundits.
It's our 59th week in the Popcorn Pundits sofa. This is James Mulcrone, Peter James Unger, and Nikki Thatcher Smart. Bringing you up to date on what's going on at the cinemas at the moment, and also delving into the past to ensure that you've not missed out on some fantastic hidden gems. That's quite good, isn't it?
It's brilliant.
It just fell out of me. Yeah.
Need to know.
Hi, Pete.
Hi.
Hi, Nikki.
Hi, who are we and why are we here?
We are the Popcorn Pundits, and we are here to ensure that you know what's going on at the cinema, and also making sure that Peter's done his homework.
What? I've waited 59 weeks to ask why you call her Thatcher Smart.
I mean, not 59. He started it about week 10.
Yeah, I did.
And
Yeah.
I think it's because I was being bossy, so he was like, "Oh,
Oh,
I like
okay.
Thatcher."
I was wondering if that was a reason why. It kind of got to a point, like, you know, when you've forgotten someone's name,
Yeah.
and it's too late for you then to
Yeah.
re-ask
Always
them
call
what their
them Bob.
name is.
Then you've married them and had kids,
Yeah,
and then you're like,
exactly.
"I should ask your name now."
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
I got
it's
some of the wrong name for like 5 years at school. I called someone George, and his name was Mark Buckthorpe. And one.
Sorry for that, Mark. After all these years,
we'll remember.
when you're
your real
listening,
name.
you.
Oh, he told me he's an avid fan now.
Good.
But yeah,
Good.
one day he just came up to me just
Thanks,
like,
George, for being
What?
a fan.
My name's
Why'd
Mark.
you call me George? I was like, is that your name? He was like, my name's Mark Buckthorpe. And I was like, why didn't you tell me? And he went, I just thought you were joking. That was it.
Weirdo.
5 years.
Should we crack on?
I think it's best.
So this is Popcorn Pundits. We like to highlight what's going on at the cinema at the moment. So we like to delve into the top 10. And then we'd like to highlight a certain movie that we've seen at the cinema this week. Maybe two cinema visits. But there's only one this week, isn't it? Only one. And then Peter's going to let us know how he felt about his homework, which I gave him last week. It's slightly ribbed.
Yeah.
Do you like it?
Yeah, I do.
It's even ribbed there, look. Which is very unusual.
I mean, this is great for people who are listening.
Yeah.
And
Anyway,
what we're saying is
Peter
it's
McPete, would you like to give us a top 10 and the UK charts at the moment?
It's ribbed for my pleasure. Number 10, Solo Leveling.
Reawakening.
Oh, I didn't see the word at the bottom. I had my hand over it.
Oh.
I don't even know what that is. What is
So
that?
it's a Japanese, I believe it's anime, and it says, injured on the verge of death, a low-level hunter with superhuman powers embarks on a quest to become stronger. It currently has 95% on Rotten Tomatoes.
It's also got a capital A in the Awakening of Reawakening.
Well, there we go.
Which is an unusual
I
use
like
to put
that.
a capital.
And it's got 8.1 on IMDb as well.
Oh, okay, we should probably see that.
It sounds like it.
Oh, number 9,
Yes.
Night Bitch.
Rather than
Am I reading these right?
from Walt Disney.
I was just about to
Night
say,
Bitch
read who
from
it's
Walt
from.
Disney.
So this is an artist who pauses her career to be a stay-at-home mum, seeks a new chapter in her life and encounters just that. When her nightly routine takes a surreal turn and her maternal instincts begin to manifest in canine form.
Oh, yes! This is Amy Adams. I've seen the trailer for this. This looks absolutely insanely brilliant. Okay, so what you've got here is you've got Amy Adams, who is a stay-at-home mum, and there's a particular line in the trailer where the dad goes, "Oh, you're living the dream. I wish I could stay at home and take care of the kids." And the next scene you see, she's eating raw meat on the kitchen floor and giving it to the kids while she's like acting like a dog. It looks absolutely fantastic.
Okay.
I love a bit of Amy as well.
I mean, anything with Amy in it, you're going to love. It's an instant 8 and above. Oh, number 8, Red 1.
Oh, apparently it's going to be streaming fairly soon because it bombed at the cinema.
Really? It was quite
That's
high
what I've
for a
heard.
couple of weeks. It was
It was.
2s and 3s for a few weeks.
It was, but that's what
Hamilton.
Lemon said.
Number 7, James's favourite film, Conclave.
Conclave, the contender for all the Oscars for next year, Golden Globes contenders and also BAFTA contenders as well. PC, you've got it wrong. You wait till next year.
I didn't think we could do wrongs. thought that was the whole point. Isn't that what we've learned?
Oh, yes.
Number 6.
That's what we learnt last
59
week.
weeks.
Number 6.
Andre Roux's Christmas concert, gold and silver.
What am I going to say?
Oh, if you say anything about Andre Roux, I'm going to slap you.
Do you
Andre's
like Andre
lovely.
Roux?
Oh, I love
My
him.
mum's obsessed
I'm
with
half
him.
Dutch, mate.
Andre's great, but it's still not a movie.
How do you know? You haven't seen it.
Well, it's not got a storyline, is it? Let's face it.
You are allowed to be non-Dutch and like Andre Roux.
Yeah, but if you're Dutch, it helps.
Yeah, my mum loves him.
Number 5.
Pushpa 2 hyphen the rule.
Yes, it's an AA film.
Anyone?
The clash is on as Pushpa and Banwar Singh continue their rivalry in this epic conclusion of the two-parted action drama.
Next year, I'm going to make a concerted effort to look at more movies with different languages.
You're
That's decided.
such a lie.
I am.
He says this every
Yeah,
time.
he does. And then probably forgets. Number 1, Paddington in Peru.
The number 1 film up until Christmas. You still haven't given me that £1, by the way.
Yeah, but
It's not Christmas yet.
Yeah.
He has to wait till Christmas is over and then he can give you the £1.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interest rates quite high though.
Number 3, Gladiator DOS.
Yes. They should have called it Return to the Colosseum, shouldn't they?
Oh, they should have done that. Would have been quite good.
Exactly. And they could have different characters.
Or your chariot away.
So I spoke to someone. Yes. I spoke to someone in the street this week who'd seen it.
Yes.
And was kind of equally disappointed.
Yes.
As I was with it, but they said they thought it would actually have made a really good Netflix series because she thought that the lacking in it was the lack of plot, and basically if they actually had like an episode on a character and then it concluded, then it would actually be a much better thing. And I think she might have a point.
You've got a point, but you could say about anything that's being fairly pants at a cinema, couldn't you? Really?
But anything with so little plot, that was the point I was trying to make. But
my
thanks for
comment.
not listening. Number 2, Wicked.
Wicked. Yes, I am listening.
It's very popular, that movie.
Is it?
It is wicked.
It's incredibly wicked.
Number 1, I want to say Paddington Peru again, but I won't go with that. Moana 2.
We've mentioned this had mixed reviews, haven't we?
We're going to have to go and see it.
We are. However, I do believe I know a few people that want to see it. It would be interesting to see if they could send some reviews to us. That'd be
What,
quite
so
cool.
you don't have to see it?
Anyway,
Because
so
you're
carry
going
on.
to be too busy watching Pushpa 2
Exactly.
And
the
Solo
Reawakening.
Leveling and Night Bitch.
and The Reawakening.
Can't wait for Night Bitch.
So on that top 10, James, what are you recommending people go and see?
Well, Night Bitch, obviously. Even though I haven't seen it. Conclave.
That's how you always say goodnight to me when we go to bed, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Wicked. I mean, if you need to go and see Wicked at the cinema without a shadow of a doubt. Paddington and Peru, I think you should definitely go and see it at the cinema because it's just even just to see Olivia Colman with a guitar on top of a mountain. That's all we need to see it there for.
I saw Wonka again this week.
Oh, so did I.
It's just so good.
So did I, as a Christmas movie.
And go and see Andre Roux.
Yes. Even if you're not Dutch.
Yeah.
Right. Even if you're not wearing orange.
And even if it's not a movie.
Yes. It's not a movie. It's not a movie!
Righty-ho.
So,
This week.
this week we are reviewing a film that's not technically in the top 10, I believe.
Oh, you can even remove the word technically from that, James. It's not in the top 10.
I
It's
think
not
it's
in
at
the top
number
10.
12.
Thank you very much, Mr.
Yes.
Ung. We are reviewing the number 12 in the top 12s.
Yes. We saw a film called Small Things Like These.
We did indeed, yes. Which has been hanging around for a bit with the trailers. I thought.
Yeah, but this has been the first week that we've had a chance to go and see it.
Oh, 100%, yes.
Yeah.
I think it's going to have a very small run, and I think it's going to be quite a focused run. I can't imagine it being around for too long.
I thought it was a really weird time of year to release this film.
Not really. So I'm going to come to you that in a second.
Okay,
Okay. So, shall we crack on?
we should.
Let's crack on. This is Cillian Murphy's second massive movie after Oppenheimer. And one of the big things that I have felt since looking at the front cover for Oppenheimer and looking at the front cover or even for Small Things Like These and actually watching the movies last night, Cillian Murphy's face has changed so dramatically from one role to another role.
100%.
Not through prosthetics, not through hair colouring, not through eye surgery or whatever it may be, and not through. Literally, he's put on a bit of timber, but his jawline is still chiselled. His hair is a little bit longer, and he looks like a completely different person.
He does. I mean, he's still incredibly absorbing on screen. I mean, like,
Massively.
you cannot take your eyes off him
Yes.
in this. But yeah, I mean, like, you know, the haircut he's got, and you're right, the face shape is just totally
Massively. At one point, I thought he looked a little bit like Brad Pitt. He looked quite stocky at one point, which is very lucky. So,
do we use Brad Pitt as the benchmark for stocky?
he's got a fair set of jaw on him, hasn't he? He's got a good jaw on him.
I don't think you know what stocky means.
No,
He's got a jaw on him. He's got a big chunky jaw on him. Anyway, let's crack on. The film's set in a small town outside Dublin in the mid-80s. And the only reference of the mid-80s initially is a small bit of radio footage where they're describing Barry McGuigan's fight.
Yeah.
And then the next scene you see is a television in the house, and it's watching Danger Mouse and some classic sort of 1980s Christmas sort of footage on there as well.
But this couldn't be anywhere other than the deepest, darkest south and southern Ireland.
100%, because what we have here is this is the exact same point, and from a personal level, I've got lots of connections with this point in time. At the start of the 80s, particularly if you were outside of Dublin, you may as well have been set in the late 50s, early 60s in reference to technology, in reference to amenities, and in reference to money, and in reference to social, in sort of interaction with the rest of the world, so to speak. And it's at that time it is a very, very backward existence.
Stark is the word that I've kind of got in my head. I mean, like
Good.
even the, like when you go into the houses, like the lack of furniture and the lack of implements in the
100%.
kitchen. I mean, everything is just like,
very basic.
The food that they eat is just like, everything is just so minimal, and it just gives you the impression that the whole culture is just so poor.
Yeah. Now, don't forget, traditionally, when a Hollywood company depicts the 1980s, it is usually bright colours. Everybody's wearing curlers, and everybody's on roller skates, and everybody's
day glow and
exactly,
and ankle warmers.
And you couldn't get any more opposite from that from this film. This film is bleak. This film is cold. This film is damp, and it's very, very dark. I mean, even the lighting on the streets really depicts the fact that there's virtually no lighting on the streets themselves. And everybody's wearing very dark colours. There's no bright colours in this film at all, and everybody's wearing dark Aran knitwear. And
I knew you'd love the knit.
The knitwear.
I mean, you would love it. I mean, it's very, very end peel, isn't it?
So, or Peregrine. It's set in to me. It's got a bleak ambience, resident of 1950s, 1960s. Now, William is portrayed by Cillian Murphy, a local coal deliverer who's haunted by dark memories from his childhood, relying on his routine and hard work to distract him from his past demons. Mm-hmm. And his routine is very, very ingrained in his daily life, and it is, to me, the routine is very, very important to him. He's depicted as a kind-hearted, quiet. Often giving help to less fortunate people, even though they are not the richest people in the world. In fact, they're incredibly poor. But his frustrated wife gets frustrated with him when he's giving away change from his pocket, because he's a soft lad.
He's very kind. And he's very humble.
Incredibly kind. Okay. The most significant location in this film is obviously the convent. Now, Cillian Murphy plays a character who is William plays a character who pretty much runs his own coal delivery service, and you'd think that he'd be, running things himself, and you'd think that he would be. He's obviously works incredibly hard and takes care of his staff, but he does most of the deliveries by himself.
Yes.
And even the depiction of him lifting the coal with his knees, and his donkey jacket with the leather pads on there, the small attention to details is absolutely beautiful. So he's delivering coal around the small town, and he delivers it to the local convent. Now, you're not quite sure what relationship he has with the convent, and you're not quite sure how well he knows the people at the convent, but you immediately realise that he's stumbled across a scenario where young girls are being dragged into the convent when they're being unwed pregnant girls. And it's quite brutal the way that these girls are being dragged into this convent by their mothers or by their fathers, and the nuns are taking them in. And in this depiction, what was happening in the right up until the 1990s was that unwed mothers were being dragged to convents. Their children were taken away after they were born, and then the girls were basically set to work in the convent, whether it be cooking, cleaning, doing general housework to raise funds and to basically run the convent for the nuns.
Yeah.
And it's the sound of the torment, the sound of the babies crying, the sound of the unhappy mothers and unhappy young girls who are pregnant. You don't really see anything that is unsettling. You hear things are unsettling, and everything's implied.
Yeah, there's no shocking scenes as such.
No,
I mean, but you do also have to say that this is based on fact. I mean, this happened across Ireland.
100%.
And I think it was right up. I think they said like to 1998.
Exactly.
Didn't it? It was
terrifying, really.
Shockingly
Absolutely.
late.
So William's backstory is revealed gradually through the entire movie, through backflashes when he's going through traumatic moments, and obviously his reference is he has 5 girls of his home, and he sees these other girls from other families that he knows that are being dragged into the convent and being horribly mistreated by the nuns, and obviously his reference and his fear is that his girls would be put in a similar situation.
Yeah, there's actually kind of quite a light moment when they have like a town festival.
Yes.
And his daughters are basically followed and chatted up a little bit by the local boys, and I think that was a bit of a nod to
this could happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So the issue we have here is that you've got William, who has a tortured past, and obviously he's a lot softer, even though he works in a very hard environment. And the whole community are terrified of the convent and the nuns, particularly the head nun, who is played beautifully by Emily Watson. Sister Mary. Now, what you have here is you've got 2 actors, and there is a very particular moment where the 2 actors sit side by side next to a fire, and you've got a battle of actors, which is absolutely beautiful. You've got Emily Watson, who physically doesn't move. The only thing she moves is her eyes.
Yeah.
And she comes across like the most terrifying nun because she doesn't have to move. She just basically, she's completely in control. And you've got Cillian Murphy's character William, who is bowing down, who is looking into his shoegaze, and yet he doesn't say hardly anything at all, but he's saying so much with his face. That man can act with his face. That man can
100%.
desperately act with his face.
But yeah, the all-encompassing power that she holds is like just so evident. It's just it's a very, very strong scene.
Yeah, absolutely. So with the back references to William's past, obviously then you start to realise as the story develops that William is also from a similar background. So William's mother was an unwed mother, but luckily for him, and his wife pointed out to him, he was incredibly lucky to be put into a situation where his mother was taken in by a very affluent Irish lady who was very well educated, incredibly articulate, and very well cultured. And that's the reason why William has almost got a posh Irish accent, almost veering towards an English accent. Although he uses some fantastic phrases like grand and so on and so forth, he still has a slight difference. And obviously his education is different, and he makes references to David Copperfield and reading books and things that you would never get normally in that scenario. But there's still the underlying darkness of his past. Now, obviously, his mother passed away at one point, but we can't go into too many details about how that happened. But his the reason for his torment is never really put onto screen, obviously, and you're never quite sure what really truly happened in his past.
Yeah, I mean, the way the film comes across is just that he's incredibly angsty.
Yes.
And the film is incredibly angsty, and it feels like you're sitting there, and it's not a long film. It's less than an hour and 40 minutes, like an hour and 38, and but you're conscious of every minute going through.
Yeah.
This film has got absolutely no rush to it whatsoever, and it's kind of like the pace of it is almost like trying to get you into the environment in which you're watching.
Yeah,
it's a real kind of it's a very, very slow, meandering film.
I mean, let's not beat about the bush. This film is not for everybody. A lot of people are going to find this film incredibly slow. A lot of people are going to find this incredibly frustrating because it's not spoon-fed to you exactly what's really going on, and the ending is so beautiful, but at the same time you feel like you've almost been robbed from the ending that you'd usually expect from a Hollywood movie.
So I've never been to the cinema and watched a film where I wished I'd watched the same film for the first time at a different point in the year. And the reason I said that earlier on is, first of all, that I was really worried that this film would get lost amongst the Red Ones and the Gladiators and all the kind of Christmas releases. Yeah. Also, for me personally, being so busy as I am at this time of year, sitting through this film, I don't think I enjoyed it as much as I would have done if I was feeling a little bit fresher in myself. I think you have to go there with a clear mind, and you are being talked to. You are being taught with this film. It's a real, this has happened, and we're going to make you sit through the experience of it happening.
It's a 3D novel.
Yeah, it is.
That's exactly what it is. It's not even a play. It's a 3D novel. What's happening is you are being depicted exactly what's gone on in the past. There's no sugarcoating with anything, but there's also no delving too much into exactly what's happened, because you know what's happened, really. You are just being educated. I agree with you completely.
It's a real education.
So the film, for me, the film's visuals are absolutely... They're not breathtaking. I was about to say the word breathtaking, but I've pulled myself back from it, because they weren't breathtaking. That what they were. I think the best way to describe the visuals in this movie is that it made it feel so real in a documentary sort of sense. The darkness, the lack of 80s cliche within the movie, and you, as you're watching this film, you felt cold, you felt damp.
So the word I was looking at was hyper realistic, and that's how I felt about it. Like every time he's walking in the sleety snow, you do kind of have a bit of a shudder. Yeah. Like when you go into the house and and he does have that habit of kind of like doing the same thing with his coat and his hat, and he scrubs his hands the same way. It is just a really, really realistically filmed film. Yeah,
absolutely. So this is not just a film all about what's not said. There are certain things that are said in this film, and there is a conflict between two characters, and William does have a choice of whether to keep his mouth shut about what's going on in the convent and what ramifications that would have. And obviously at that time it was the norm to turn your back, and at that time it was quite accepted to allow things like this to happen, because that's what's always happened, and obviously the people in power are doing these things. So the main, I would say the main catalyst of this film is really down to power. It's down to making choices of whether you're going to stand up to the power, and how that and what ramifications that's going to have later on.
Well, you've also got a fight between good and evil, and you've got the weird position of the good being the evil, and that whole kind of culture in Ireland where the
it's a bit like Wicked.
But you've got that whole thing of the church being like the centre point of all of community, and then you've got the whole community knowing and understanding that actually the church is doing something which is inherently evil. Yeah, exactly. And it's
So, and to me, that's it. I mean, I don't want to give anything more away about this film. It's a rich tapestry of colours and textures and darkness and bleakness, and the soundtrack is really low key. You almost get the soundtrack through background noises, through the radio or through the television, and it's a bleak, realistic depiction of 1980s Ireland outside of Dublin. That's what it is.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah,
that's exactly what it is.
Did you love it?
You're right. It's one of these movies that you've got to be in exactly the right mood for. You've got to be in the mood for a really good book for this movie, and you've got to have that stillness allowing to myself. There were several times during this movie I thought to myself, am I enjoying this movie? And then ever so often, his face would just turn, and then you would get so much from his acting that it just blew all those cobwebs away. So to answer your question, yes, I did enjoy it.
Yeah, because it did feel like you said like the battle of the great actors, and it was like that. There were for me there were moments in this film of utter beauty and beautiful acting. Yeah, as a film, I did struggle. I did struggle with the pace of it, and I really wish I had seen it at another time in the year.
However, it is technically a Christmas movie.
Yes.
It is technically a Christmas movie.
It's not going on my list. Right, come on, then, let's put some scores on this thing.
Well, we need some background facts first.
Would you like some facts?
Yes, indeed.
Okay, I'll get them on the screen. 'Cause
Please
I can't
do.
read the printing. The tagline for this was, "What happens behind these walls will change everything."
Yeah.
And Cillian Murphy is a fan of the film's original novel writer, Claire Keegan. He remembers reading her novel Foster on a train and having to pull his hoodie over his face because he was crying.
Yeah.
Cillian Murphy mentioned in an interview that the idea to cast Emily Watson as Sister Mary came to him in a dream, describing her as one of his favourite performers.
Well,
It was the opening film at the 74th Berlin International Film Festival, and Eileen Walsh, who plays the wife to Cillian Murphy's character, also played the main character in The Magdalene Sisters.
Yes, which is a similar storyline.
Yeah, it says both movies deal with the horrors that went on for young women at the Magdalena laundries.
Yeah.
wow.
And it's 7.3 on IMDb.
Okay. Right. I have given it 7.9.
Oh, I'm an 8.
Ooh.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
very,
there
very
you go. I
similar.
think we're all similar.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's not going to be everybody's cup of tea by any stretch of the imagination, but
I think it's the sort of thing that could be re-seen again next year at a certain cinema in Bourne, perhaps.
potentially,
Yes,
absolutely.
at the right
So
time.
I think this film is the perfect one for the question, what day of the week would you like to watch this film?
Do you know, we haven't asked that question for quite some time.
But for me, this is a perfect winter's Sunday afternoon movie with a bowl of stew.
What flavour stew?
Beef stew.
Lamb.
Not Irish.
Irish stew, yeah, lamb.
Okay, I'll both of those.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. Sunday. Yeah, rainy, cold, wet outside. Put it on, put the fire on,
Yeah.
watch the movie.
Half
cry.
of the people watching won't make it to the end, but the ones who do will love it.
Exactly. So that's 7.9. So what?
7.95 in total.
7.95. Do we have any reviews of any of the films at all?
We have had a review in from, I believe, Mr. Lawrence. Let me just double check.
What's the review?
Conclave.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah, come on, let's get comfy for this one.
Here we go.
Okay, are you ready?
I'm
Let me
ready.
just turn the volume up.
Yes. Love
Good
it,
evening,
Lawrence.
pundits.
Evening, Lawrence.
Lawrence here. Hope you are both well. Apologies to producer Nick.
Sorry, there's 3 of us.
There is 3 of us.
He was talking
He was
about you
just
two.
about to
Yeah.
He was talking about you
To Nikki,
two.
I could not meet your strict deadlines for my review submission last week for Conclave, so here it is. So I went to see this last week with a few of you, good people. It was well acted, brilliant, great cast. Ralph Fiennes obviously plays a great character. Obviously we share a name, that's purely coincidental. Sets were brilliant. Story was good, if you like kind of political, religious thrillers. And that's pretty much what it was. I thought, it was a great solid thriller. I enjoyed it. I didn't enjoy it as much as maybe one of you did last week when you gave it a review, but I listened to your review when I was walking around in the morning, and I scored it before you did, James, and I thought I would give it a 6.5.
Lawrence.
Hope you are all well, and I will speak to you soon. Cheers, guys. Bye.
He's right off my Christmas list. Actually, no, it's all subjective, isn't it?
I'm not saying anything this week,
So,
James.
so does that...
That does change the score. I'm just doing it now.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Lawrence. I think that's a really good review.
Thank you, Lawrence. That was a fantastic review.
So that makes it a bang on 7.
Bang on 7.
He also gave a fun fact.
Oh, did he?
He said the longest papal, I can never say that, conclave in history occurred in 1268 to 1271, following the death of Pope Clement IV.
Do you have a guess?
I would say 16 weeks.
I was going to
For
say
the longest?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say 4 months, which is almost
Okay.
16 weeks.
It lasted 2 years, 9 months, and 8 days, from November 1268 to September the 1st, 1271. This extraordinary delay was due to intense disagreements among the cardinals about who should be elected, whatever that word is, by political pressure and factional disputes. He said, I'm guessing they would have had plenty of votes, but it would have got long and boring.
Yeah.
And then Sophie said, that would have made a very long movie, nearly as long as Oppenheimer.
Oh, very true. Very true indeed. So there you have it. So we've had small things like these. We've had an upgrade of our Conclave review.
Cool.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Lawrence. And now it's time for
Oh, my bit's got his own little
yeah, I'm
intro now.
trying to come up with something. It's not working
That
now.
was very 80s computer, that.
Wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe we should do that. That could work, couldn't it? Next year.
That was my dialogue.
Production upgrade.
Don't pay me
So
enough.
during the month of December, I'm giving you Christmas-related movies to watch at home.
Okay, well, cool. So this week you gave me the movie Krampus.
Yes. Now, before you start, I must thank Tucker TV
Right.
because I've seen this movie advertised for many a year, and I've always resisted watching it because it was literally the image on the screen just put me off for some reason. Sometimes I just read it wrong, and Tucker TV turned around and said, "Trust me, James, this is the movie for you. This is your Christmas movie. You need to watch it." Now, I watched this, I think it's 2 years ago, and it's now turned into a firm favourite going forward for my Christmas list. Peter James Unger.
Yeah.
What day did you watch it on, and what were you wearing?
I watched it on a day this week. I can't remember what day I watched it. What day is it today? It's
Thursday today.
Did you watch it on Tuesday?
I think I watched it on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was wearing jeans and a t-shirt.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Good.
This
I'm
is
getting the image.
This is the weirdest Christmas movie you're ever going to see. I can totally see why you like it. It's like loads of films have been smashed together, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
So it's got
It's Die Hard. It's everything.
It's Gremlins.
Yeah, exactly.
It's National Lampoon's Christmas
Oh, it
Vacation.
is totally National Lampoon. It is literally a horror National Lampoon because you've got the families and everything else.
and one of them is the brother in National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Exactly.
And and it's oh, he's not. He's in Ron Burgundy.
That's right. Yes, exactly.
And,
Anchorman.
Anchorman. He's a sports commentator in Anchorman.
Yeah, I love it.
So we've got Adam Scott and Tony Collette. I mean, it's a great cast.
Scott is amazing.
No, is he? Okay, yes, he is. Yeah. Okay, he is amazing.
Yeah, carry on.
So we know Adam Scott from the likes of Pretty Little Lies,
Yes.
and he always plays a character that's got a kind of undisclosed evil dark.
Yeah,
side,
there's always a
doesn't
little bit. Yeah.
I found him really quite one dimensional in this, to be honest with you. And so halfway through this film,
Yes.
I had to give myself a little bit of a reality check, and I was just like,
Yeah.
Pete, this is a Christmas horror recommended
is.
by James. So
Exactly.
Just let the stuff that you don't like go and just embrace
Yeah.
it for what it is.
It's not a documentary.
No, because I'm glad I did, because like shortly afterwards, the David Krishna's character Howard was attacked by animated gingerbread men.
Yeah, that was brilliant.
And I'm glad. I'm really glad that I let myself enjoy
embrace
this for what it is.
Embrace it. Exactly.
So basically we have two families that are brought together at Christmas, and the family whose house the other family are visiting.
Yep.
The youngest son basically decides that he's not really enjoying Christmas anymore,
That's right.
and he basically decides to cut Christmas off. He's not interested in Christmas anymore. It's
he
going to be
rips
done.
his Christmas list up and throws it onto the fire.
Onto the fire, exactly. And the family have Tony Collette and Adam Scott as the parents, and then they've got the grandmother, who's played by Krista Sadler,
Yes.
who basically just sits in the corner and then is the
Mumbles in German.
Yeah, he mumbles in German, but is obviously the wise old, whatever. And then basically the Christmas spirit gets to such a low ebb
Yes.
that calls on the
Shadow of Christmas.
yeah, the anti-Santa.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like the shadow of Santa.
Yes, he is.
The Anta, absolutely right. And he's a nasty, big, hoofed.
But also quite light on his feet.
Yeah, he's a roof jumper,
Isn't he?
But then Father Christmas is quite light on his feet for stocky fella.
Yeah, exactly. Just like Brad Pitt.
Oh dear.
Great jawline.
Anyway,
underneath
so
that
then,
beard.
and then, like halfway through the film, the kind of history of
Krampus.
of the Krampus is revealed by the German grandma.
The fairy tale.
And there's an inevitability about what's going to happen, and it kind of happens, and,
Yes.
and it's just I mean, there is.
Some quite brutal moments.
You talking about being Die Hard?
Yeah.
Actually, you saying that was making me. I was thinking, God, it is incredibly Die Hard. And
Yeah.
I hadn't really kind of put that into it.
Absolutely.
But it's basically, it's like someone has taken all of everyone's favourite Christmas movies and crammed it into a movie.
Krampus it in.
Yeah,
I knew
like
that was
all
coming.
the ingredients of a Christmas pudding
And
stuck
he
in
killed
there,
everybody.
and it's made a distinctly average Christmas movie.
I really liked it.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's bad.
Yes.
But it isn't.
Come on, is there a really... I mean, see, I can't see you rating any Christmas movie too high anyway, because you'd get annoyed by...
Elf.
it. Okay, that's an exception, but...
Die Hard.
Right, what else?
Home Alone.
Really?
Oh, really?
Really?
Better than this.
I don't know. Anyway, so carry on.
That's pretty much all I've got to say about
Is that what
it.
you're going to say?
Nick, why don't you chip in and tell me what you think about it? Because I can see you literally belly laughing during this. I can see this is just your sense of humour the whole way through.
It is. I mean, that and Violent Night. It is
Yeah, Violent Night.
beautifully brutal. It's brutal killings in this film, but done in such a Christmassy sort of way. And the fact that they've been able to bring in a legitimate fairy tale, which is Krampus,
Yeah.
from Germany, and then crowbar it into an American fairy tale existence, and just kill everybody. I mean, nobody.
But it is juggling it being absolutely not a Christmas movie
Yes.
and it being a Christmas movie.
100%.
It's just like sometimes you just sat there thinking, what the fuck am I watching? That's just like, and it is just randomly bizarre that you're kind of like watching people in Christmas jumpers, and then all of a sudden they're being dragged through the snow by evil elves. It's like, what the hell am I watching?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Welcome to a James Christmas.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it is just such a James Christmas. That's it. It's it's not in my top 10.
I thought the special effects were fantastic in it. For a Christmas horror movie, the special effects were fantastic in it. I thought the Krampus itself was depicted incredibly well, and the humour, and it was very, very funny. There was some fantastic humour moments in it. Toni Collette is amazing. in it.
I wanted to be in the casting meeting
Oh no.
where they pitched this to Toni Collette.
Oh no. Exactly.
How the hell is she
Well,
in this
I
film?
mean, he's Maisie Boy from the other family from Anchorman. He's a seasoned comedian actor as well.
Yeah,
He's been around for a long, long time. So you've got some amazing cast, and I think they pulled it off beautifully. What score are you going to give it? Well, hang on a minute. Let's get some facts of Nikki first.
I actually know I'd like Peter's. I don't want the IMDb score to influence his
Right, then
score.
go for it.
It's 6.8.
Oh, interesting.
Interesting. Nikki?
At 6.2 on IMDb. It actually had some other original working titles.
Did it?
What do you think they are?
Wankers.
It had about 6 of them.
Home Alone with an Axe. Or Die Harder.
Ruh.
Ruh.
Okay, so it had...
Yeah.
He sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. He knows if you've been bad or good, so be good for goodness sake.
Right. What, that whole thing was going to be the title?
Yeah.
God, I'm
It
glad
was
that's
a
not
Can you
in
imagine?
top 10. Been there for hours.
You don't want to be on his list.
Yeah, that works.
Is coming to town. You
Yeah.
better watch out.
Yeah.
When the Christmas spirit is lost, he arrives.
Yeah.
Or will you survive this Christmas?
No, I think Krampus is probably the best
I
one.
don't think any of those are film titles.
Yeah, I
It's
know.
really odd,
That was
isn't
the
it?
original titles. It's had 5 wins and 14 nominations.
Chainsaw.
It had 3, so 1 chainsaw win
Yeah.
and 2 chainsaw nominations.
Yes.
So the film was originally set to release on November the 25th, but it was pushed back to December the 4th to coincide with Krampusnacht, which is an Austrian festival held on the 5th of December that celebrates Krampus coming to punish naughty children.
Exactly. He's coming for you, Peter.
He is a huge part in the Austrian-German folklore.
Right.
In Austria and southern Germany, they have Krampus runs.
Yes.
Where grown men dress up as Krampuses and parade through the city
Massive
streets
horns,
to
I've seen
scare the
it.
children.
Wow.
Yeah.
The visible breath in the cold exteriors was done digitally, but major components of it involve filming real people in freezers reading dialogue for the scenes, and then their breath was then isolated and added to the shots.
Wow. That sounds quite complex,
Doesn't it just?
The actually the evil characters in this, the fact that it's kind of a cross between CGI and actual masks is actually quite a nice thing to look at. I did quite enjoy that.
A couple of others. So many of Krampus's minions are also real Christmas or winter folk figures within the European cultures, such as Yule Goat, which is Scandinavian.
Yule Goat.
The creatures within Icelandic names are named after the Icelandic Yule lads, who are said to visit homes each night of 13 nights before Christmas.
Right.
So that starts
Today.
today, doesn't it?
I love the way all of the snowmen just move slowly but surely towards the house as well, bit by bit.
Yeah.
That was quite creepy. You must admit.
The Icelandic Yule lads are actually really interesting. When I went to Iceland, I bought the book and gave it to my nieces. But there's actually some fascinating ones there.
Okay.
And Omi, who is the grandma, is the only person who refers to Krampus by his name.
Okay, there we go.
Because she's got the bell.
Well, and she knows she has experience with him.
She does.
Yeah, and none of the others know what the fuck he is.
Yeah, exactly.
And I've got 2 more facts and then that's it.
Okay.
There was a special thanks to Peter Jackson, as in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
And the kid who plays Max, who is MJ Anthony.
Please tell me you sent it to be Michael Bublé.
No, but apparently, apparently he flirted with every woman and girl on the set and who visited the set.
Did he now?
Yeah. Thought you two
monkey.
would appreciate that.
Cheeky monkey. So there you have it. Krampus. I recommend it. Pete, not so much.
No, it's all right.
Yeah.
I mean, if you tend towards James movies, then this is your Christmas movie.
Yeah.
And if you don't, then it's not.
Good. Do you want your second bit of homework? So, this movie is available on Prime, but you've got to rent it for 99p.
Okay, I can manage that.
You can handle that,
Yeah.
can you? Okay.
Can I borrow that £1 I owe you?
Do you know what? I'll gift it to you.
Oh, bless you.
There you
Thank
go.
very
You
much.
can
Pay it forward.
Exactly. This is a musical. It's set at Christmas.
Keep your £1.
Okay. It's a musical. It's a Christmas musical.
James.
Okay. But there's a twist. Okay.
Is it Oliver the Twist?
No. It's a zombie.
Oh, cool. Okay.
It's
Peter's
a zombie Christmas musical film
Fucking hell.
called Anna and the Apocalypse. Okay. So, and the best way to describe this to you is it's a combination between all the best sing-along Christmas movies.
Yeah.
And Shaun of the Dead.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. That's
awesome.
that's the movie for you, available on Prime. You watch it at home and let us know what you think.
Well, you say it's available on Prime, so it's actually available at the Sky Store, Google Play, YouTube, Apple TV, all for subscriptions, Amazon Prime, or apparently it's currently free of charge on Channel 4.
Is it now?
Allegedly.
There you go.
Oh, I've got all of them.
You got all of them?
Yeah.
Other channels are available.
There isn't. That's pretty much all of them.
I don't know.
That is
BBC?
pretty much.
Yeah. Mooney or Ubi or whatever it's called.
BBC? That's another channel.
Not anymore, it's not.
Not the way it's going at the moment.
Hey, listen.
Left-wing
We wouldn't have
propaganda.
Strictly otherwise, would we?
Yeah, it would just have breaks in the middle, ad breaks, wouldn't it?
So there you have it. That's your Popcorn Pundits, week 59.
It's quite an odd week this week, wasn't it?
Do you think so?
I do think it was an odd week. I mean,
Do you think you just feel a bit odd?
Papa.
No. How do people find us?
Yes, Peter.
And message us?
We're
Yeah.
here.
Well, yeah, but they can't do a Serena and just look through the window, can they?
That's the only reason you have me on this, so I can do this bit.
Come
you
on.
can watch us on YouTube.
Do you know what it's like?
Could you not interrupt?
No,
me?
I am going to interrupt you because do you know what I'm going to do? Okay, next year,
Yeah.
okay, particularly for YouTube, we're going to create a little frame, okay, and it's going to,
Krampus.
and then a little frame like a doorway, okay,
Yeah.
and it's going to have some tassels coming down,
Yeah.
and then when you're given the terms and conditions about how to get in contact with us, how you can watch it,
Yeah.
it'd be just like Strictly.
I knew that was coming.
Anyway, carry on.
He'll forget about it in about half an hour, so just carry on.
You can watch us on YouTube, you can watch us on Facebook, you can listen to us on a podcast, wherever you prefer to stream your podcasts from.
Can you?
Yeah.
Nice. And how can people contact us, Nikki?
So they can contact us on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. They can also send us a little text message.
Oh.
So wherever you listen, it says send us a text, and click on there and send the message, and it will
Are we on the TikTok?
We are on the TikTok.
We're on the TikTok.
When did that happen?
Just overnight.
About 50 weeks ago.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, but obviously leave your name because we don't know who you are otherwise.
Yeah. So we've been teasing you with January the 31st for next year. And we are in the process of creating our very own monthly cinema nights. We're going to be experimenting for 3 or 4 months. We'd love to invite you along. So let us know if you're available on January the 31st. More details will come along next week. Yes.
And please remember to, on the podcast network that you use, rate us and review us, because the more ratings we get, the more fans we get.
That's right.
And tell everyone about us.
Spread
please.
the word. Spread the word. And don't forget, if you've got any more reviews of films that we haven't seen, please send them through to us also.
Beautiful.
I'm just stretching my fingers out.
Anyway,
Excellent.
pa.
Over
I've
to you,
got halfway
Peter.
through. Okay.
Popcorn Pundits.
Podcast.
Week
59.
59. In the bag. Slightly longer than last week.
Well, that
That's how I
burnt you,
like
didn't
it.
it, last week? Not enough Mr. James.
Yes.